Welcome back to Urban Sprawl. Our goal today is to make a shelter for my Happy Ghast. My poor Happy Ghast has been tethered to that fence post out in the weather for far too long. And I've been thinking, what sort of structure would a Happy Ghast belong in? And it occurred to me that there is really only one use for a Happy Ghast, and that is mob transport. We've already used the Ghast to transport some villagers and some animals to the floating farm. It occurred to me, as there's no real forms of transport in vanilla Minecraft, the Ghast is possibly the only way of transporting multiple mobs. I think we should use it as a helicopter, as an emergency vehicle. Now, I'm very well aware that they are so incredibly slow that if a villager was in an accident and needed to get to the hospital in time, that catching a Happy Ghast emergency vehicle is possibly the slowest way to get to the hospital. But I want to build a helipad. So our Happy Ghast can be utilised a little bit more rather than just floating around out here, keeping that red sheep company. So let's build a helipad. As always, I've marked it out and I think I've got most of the resources. So we can get straight into it. And I've decided to utilise this nice big open space directly behind the hospital. So the Happy Ghast emergency vehicle can go out, pick up patients in need of medical care and bring them back, land safely on the helipad, and then they can be trundled into the hospital. That does mean the hospital will need some upgrades at some point. So I was thinking, because the helipad is in the centre of it, and that's where the admin little office is, it would be good to bring the patients straight through here. Currently, the hospital doesn't have a surgery room, so I'm thinking it's due to have a bit of an upgrade at some point. But I really want to focus on the helipad, the Happy Ghast helipad first. So we've got the helipad here, and back here is going to be the Happy Ghast hangar. Lots of H's today. So we're going to have a Happy Ghast helipad and a Happy Ghast hangar. And there's going to be a fence around it. So when the Happy Ghast helicopter emergency vehicle is coming in with a patient to land, that none of these villagers get in the way. You can imagine the Ghast trying to come in and land and all these villagers just wandering around like this guy, for example. Let's build a Happy Ghast helipad. So there's the Happy Ghast emergency hangar. So it's only a little building, and the Ghast does fit in here. I've tried it. He will be quite comfortable floating around in this little hangar. And we've come out here, and here's the landing pad. So nice big H with the sea lanterns, so it can be lit up at night time, and green for the landing area, and a nice bright yellow outline so it can be seen from a distance. We've got an air sock so the pilot can see where the wind's coming from to make a safe landing, and that's pretty much it. So now I just need to move the Happy Ghast. So let's go get him and bring him over to his new home. You can see him out there floating around all happy. Okay, little Ghast. Oh, I need snowballs. I need snowballs. Because these things tend to fly away by themselves. And I've just always struggled to keep them around. So I need snowballs. Now, I reckon if I got on him, he would still be tethered. So I think I need to untether him and then jump on him. So, where's the lead? I've got a big Happy Ghast balloon. Oh, lovely. Come on, little buddy. We'll take a nice leisurely stroll to your new home. There we go. Oh, this is easier than I thought it was. I thought I'd collect the lead or snap the lead and he'd float away. But I've picked it up. I've gone for an angled roof. I do like that. I did do some research into helicopter hangars, and they're usually just big squares, but the roofs of them are quite different. There were some lovely curved roofs that I didn't mind, but I thought on the scale that I'm building this, it probably wouldn't translate too well. And I found one that had a lovely angled roof, and I thought that's what I wanted. Okay, buddy. Now, I'm pretty sure he fits through this door. Come on. Down a bit further. There we go. Look at you. Look at you. Is he in? All the way in, buddy. There we go. He's got enough room. There's a Happy Ghast in his Happy Ghast emergency hangar. At some point, I was thinking of putting some sort of roller door on the opening here. That requires redstone, and that's a very complicated build. So I need to do some more research into that to make a roller door that actually moves. I did start looking into it, and I still need to get my head around it a little bit more. So that might be for a later episode, putting a door that disappears into the floor so you can get the Happy Ghast out. You just go in there a bit more. There we go. Perfect. A Happy Ghast in his Happy Ghast hangar. Like I said, I decided to have a bit of an angled roof just to give it a bit more character. But there are a couple more things that I need to add to this side. And I hope I've still got the resources to do that. I've got white wool. I don't have it. I want some quartz stairs. I think I might have some quartz stairs in the town hall. Here we go. There we go. Quartz stairs. Because the building that I based the hangar off of had a really 70s feel. And it had a bit of an angled side. And I got to remember how I did this. Does that look right? Yeah. So it had a bit of a flare out on the side of it to make it structurally sound. So I thought I might just do that little structure to give it the same feel based on the picture that I found, or a couple of pictures that I saw, like that and like that. There we go. There we go, perfect. So the materials that it's made of, white concrete powder and wool. I decided to do those two materials to give it the vertical stripes of the sheet metal, and I think it's a nice subtle effect, but you can see it. It does mean, of course, that I had to put the polished stone slabs above the doorway. Otherwise, the white concrete powder would just fall because it's a gravity block. But I don't mind that. It looks like the roller doors all the way up, giving our Happy Ghast some fresh air. So, the sea lanterns on the inside light it up just enough to keep the oogly booglies at bay without making it too overlit in there. Because it is a hangar, they are usually pretty big open spaces, so there we go. We've got a Happy Ghast emergency hangar. Yes, so at some point I'm going to need to modify the hospital to have the emergency entrance for the people on the trolley or the paramedics to bring patients through, maybe to emergency wing. So that's going to need some modifications. We do have quite a bit of space here between the pool and the helipad. So whether we bring this grass back in future, I don't know. If there's going to be buildings along here, I don't know. There could be a street, like some houses along here, but that's future me's decision. We've still got a little bit of space between the wool shed and the buildings. I am finding villagers coming out around this end of the pool. Not very often because it is a fair way from their beds, but we're getting to the point where villagers are now out here wandering around a bit more. And Enderman's taken this dirt block and it's annoying me a little bit, but I'll fill that in later. I just want to show you another little build that I've been working on off camera, and it's just here. So I've been building some more apartment buildings based on the townhouse builds that I did very early on in the series. They're 2-story, and I've tried again to use some different materials. So they're tall, narrow little buildings, and inside it's all oak. So they've got some beds inside. I just decided to make them a space. Rather than having walls taking up space, I've opened some of them up. So this one, it's still oak inside. I decided to make the inside with oak because... Oh! How did you get in here? He must have spawned in here, which means... How come you're so damaged if you spawned in here? I don't have any iron on me, buddy, but... That's really strange. Normally golems that spawn inside are are pristine because they don't have ugly booglies get to them. You poor thing. It's not like he's fallen down the stairs or anything. So we've got, so I've built the inside, that shared wall with oak. So the pretty colours are only on the front of the building. And so it's just a big space for beds on the insides. So building more houses, bringing out villagers this way. There's a couple around the back that I haven't quite finished. So they're back to back. So they share that same wall, which is why I decided to make it out of oak, just to save some resources. So we've got some different colour schemes for each of the buildings. And I don't mind that. I do want to put some chimneys on the roof when it's finished, though, to give that lived-in feel, and, of course, some glowberries. But, this one hasn't been finished yet. So they're just big rooms for beds. So we'll be having more villagers starting to live out this way. While we're doing a bit of show and tell, I thought I might give you an update on the museum. So I've been decorating the inside of the museum and working out what the rooms are going to be. So you remember we've got the bone structure in the centre of the foyer, but I've been deciding that each room should have a different theme. So this room, ocean monument. So we've got all the different materials that ocean monuments have involved with them. We've got a collection of ornaments and things that you need to work with ocean monuments. We've got dry sponge and wet sponge. We've got an example of some sea kelp growing. And we come through here, and this is gallery room number 1. So we've got lots of paintings. And then we've got the end room. So again, different materials, different things you would find in the end. I've animated the dragon's head to make it a bit more interactive. We've got shulker boxes and elytra with an end box. We've got the dragon egg in its own little display with a security cage around it so no one touches it and it goes teleporting somewhere else. So this is the end room. I'm still working on this room. I'm not quite sure I'm happy with the layout of it yet. Out here we've got the map makers. What are they called? No, not you. The cartographers. So I do want to make them a little workstation at some point so people with rare maps can come in and get it appraised and possibly even donate it to the museum. Through here we've got the armour room. So as I collect different armour templates, I'm putting them on display for the armour room. And here we've got TNT Man's armour and elytra. When he was playing with me last, he donated his armour to the museum to be put on display. So we've got that there up on a little pedestal. This room is another gallery with some lovely paintings. This room's empty at the moment. I'm not sure what's going to go here. I'm still considering that. Upstairs, we come up the stairs. We've got another little landing with some paintings. This room is the dig room, so the archaeology room. So we've got the workstations that I found during the dig, which means we have some villagers working in here, but that's okay. We've got the meeting site that I found during an archaeological dig. I've put together the sherds, so we've got all the ceramic pots on display around the side of the room. We've got some other bits and pieces that I found during a dig. We've got the candles that I found during a dig, and another little structure that's been reconstructed from bits and pieces and evidence found in the dig sites. I was thinking of making this a different biome room with the different plants and trees, but I'm not sure how that would work. Then we've got this little landing through to another room which is empty, and then we've got the nether room. So we've got a display showing the nether, which is still in construction. So we've got the two different types of vegetation that you can get in the nether. I do want to add some more stuff like soul sand and maybe a lava ball over here. I need to do that. We've got a music box with some discs that I've found in the nether. Hello. And then we come back to the landing again. So that's what I've been working on in the museum, and it's coming along quite nicely. Still got some work to do on some of the rooms, but it's not just a big empty shell. It does actually have displays in it, which is good. We might call that the end of the episode. So I hope you liked the little build today, and a bit of a show and tell as far as the museum goes and some new buildings that I'm putting up. Happy Ghast is very happy in his new residence, and he'll be put to work very shortly. I do need to give the hospital a renovation. So at some point we'll modify the hospital. So we've got an emergency department and maybe a surgery room. I might need to dig down and put another floor in underneath. So we've got some space for surgeries and emergency treatments. So I hope you liked the episode, just a little episode today. Happy Ghast is very happy. If you like the episode, please hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I think we might leave every time the camera starts rolling, they stand in the way. You're supposed to photobomb behind the person, not in front of. There we go.